What I'm about to show you will destroy any remaining illusion that Trump represents America first principles. On the same day that Trump gave Netanyahu the green light to complete the ethnic cleansing of Gaza, to forcibly expel 2 million Palestinians from their homeland, he announced that America can't deport illegal immigrants because we need the farmers. Let that sink in. Trump will enthusiastically support the violent expulsion of an entire population when it serves Israeli interests, but when it comes to enforcing American immigration law, suddenly deportation is too complicated. Netanyahu has just announced his plan for the complete occupation of Gaza. This isn't speculation, this isn't conspiracy theory. According to the Times of Israel, Netanyahu told ministers this week that he will seek cabinet backing for a plan to fully occupy the Gaza Strip. A senior official close to the Prime Minister said the die is cast, we are going for a full occupation of the Gaza Strip. Israel currently controls 75% of Gaza and has pushed nearly all 2.1 million Palestinians into the southernmost coastal part of the Strip in preparation for expulsion. For 2 years, this has been the plan. Israel never intended to just defeat Hamas and withdraw. They intended to take the entire Strip, expel the Palestinian population, and annex the territory. The evidence has been there from the beginning in their own government documents. They couldn't say this publicly because it would have violated every international agreement and put them at odds with their supposed allies. So they've been conducting this systematic ethnic cleansing operation while pretending it was just a war against Hamas. Think about what they've actually done. They've destroyed every hospital, every school, every piece of infrastructure in Gaza. They've turned the entire territory into rubble. Then they claim they want a ceasefire and reconstruction. But ask yourself this question. If Israel has intentionally destroyed every building, every road, every water system in Gaza, and then they maintain security control over the territory, who exactly is supposed to rebuild it? And for whom? They've created a situation where even if there was a ceasefire tomorrow, the Palestinians would have nowhere to return to. The entire territory is uninhabitable. This wasn't collateral damage from fighting Hamas, this was deliberate infrastructure destruction designed to make return impossible. They're going to tell these 2 million people that they can either live in tent cities for the next 20 years while someone rebuilds their homeland, or they can accept deportation to Europe, Libya, Morocco, or wherever else will take them. And here's the sick irony. Israeli ministers have actually written op-eds in the Wall Street Journal saying Europe should take these Palestinian refugees. The same people who lecture Americans about the moral necessity of accepting unlimited immigration or planning to ethnically cleanse Palestinians and dump them on European countries. They're going to create the largest refugee crisis in decades and then demand that Western nations clean up their mess. But the most revealing part of this entire story is Trump's response. When his supporters were desperate to believe he was different, when they convinced themselves that the temporary ceasefire proved Trump had bent Netanyahu to his will, Trump was already planning to give Israel everything they wanted. The ceasefire wasn't Trump forcing Netanyahu's hand. It was Netanyahu buying time to complete his ethnic cleansing operation with Trump's full support. And now we see the ultimate expression of Trump's priorities. On the same day he endorsed the violent expulsion of 2 million Palestinians, he announced that America can't deport illegal immigrants because we need them for agriculture. Think about this comparison. Trump supports using military force to remove an entire population from Gaza because it serves Israeli interests. But when it comes to removing people who entered America illegally, suddenly deportation is too disruptive to the economy. Iran just deported 2 million ethnic minorities in a month after their conflict with Israel. Israel is planning to deport 2 million Palestinians from Gaza. But America, the supposed global superpower, can't manage to deport people who have no legal right to be here because it might affect crop yields. This isn't about logistics or capability. This is about priorities and political will. Trump had no problem with deportation when he was campaigning. He promised the largest deportation operation in American history. His supporters cheered when he talked about using the military to remove illegal immigrants. But now that he's in office, now that it's time to actually deliver on those promises, suddenly it's too complicated. Meanwhile, he's happy to endorse military operations that will create millions more refugees who will inevitably end up seeking asylum in Western countries. This reveals the fundamental lie at the heart of Trump's political brand. He's not America first, he's Israel first with America first rhetoric. When Israeli interests require massive military operations and ethnic cleansing, Trump provides full support. When American interests require enforcing immigration law, Trump finds excuses and delays. His supporters voted for someone who would put American workers and American families first, but they got someone who puts Israeli objectives ahead of American sovereignty. The pattern is consistent across every policy area. Trump campaigned against foreign wars but has maintained every military commitment that benefits Israel while escalating tensions with Iran. He campaigned against globalism but has subordinated American domestic policy to Israeli foreign policy objectives. He campaigned against the deep state but has staffed his administration with the same people who ensure American policy serves Israeli interests above American interests. And the most tragic part is that his supporters will find ways to rationalize this betrayal. They'll claim this is strategic, that Trump is playing some complex game that will eventually benefit America. They'll argue that supporting Israeli ethnic cleansing somehow advances American interests. They'll find excuses for why enforcing American immigration law is impossible while enforcing Israeli territorial expansion is essential. But there's no complex strategy here. There's no four-dimensional chess. Trump is simply doing what every American president has done for decades, prioritizing Israeli objectives over American interests while using patriotic rhetoric to maintain domestic support. The only difference is that Trump's version of this betrayal is more brazen and more obvious than his predecessors. His supporters believe they were voting for American sovereignty and got Israeli colonialism. They believe they were voting for immigration enforcement and got agricultural labor protection. They believe they were voting for peace and got genocide endorsement. The cognitive dissonance required to maintain faith in Trump after this should be impossible, but tribal loyalty often overrides rational analysis. This is what happens when political movements become personality cults. When people invest their entire political identity in defending one person rather than defending principles, they end up defending the indefensible. They end up supporting policies that contradict everything they claim to believe because admitting they were wrong about their chosen leader is too psychologically painful. But the reality is undeniable. Trump just endorsed ethnic cleansing while protecting illegal immigration. He just supported violent deportation for Palestinians while opposing legal deportation for people who entered America illegally. He just proved that when it comes to choosing between American interests and Israeli interests win every time. This isn't America first, this is America last with patriotic marketing.